This thing right here is, let me just show you. 2 fingers, both buttons at the same time. Start over, actually it's bidirectional as well, so it can go over the top of itself and create that extra movement. Really cool. Start over there, tap A, and we'll finish over there. Tap B. How long do I want it to go on for? 15 seconds is actually good. Hit confirm. I want it to loop, so we'll tap on that. Hit standby. It's going to go to its first position. Wait for it to do its thing. We are there. Hit start. Now, I can go in front of the camera and it's going to perform the movement that I just punched in, which was incredibly quick to do. You saw that. And now I can walk in front of the camera and achieve a shot like this, which you typically need someone to film you for. There'd be no other way to do it. Or you could use a different company's motion slider and have to use an app. I hate apps. There is an app for this, but you don't need to use it. You saw how long that took for me to do. This is an incredibly useful piece of kit. Never thought I'd say that about a slider. I think the exciting thing for me about using a product like this is just how easy it is to use straight out of the box. There's not a lot of products these days where you can put a battery in it. It's a Sony MPF battery, by the way. Turn it on, and providing you know how to use it, which you do because I showed you at the beginning there how quick it is, you can just get a shot like this in under a minute. And you can go and change it and do a different shot over there and set it up and have it ready to go in a matter of seconds. Right now it's performing the back and forth movement, which I told it to do over a pre-specified amount of time, and you can actually specify that time. You go from a second up to hours. So you could use this for an interview, little subtle movement throughout the interview just to make it a little bit more interesting. For a talking head, the same thing. Instead of me just standing here like this, there's a little bit of movement in the background. The scenery's changing somewhat, and you're getting some information as it's interesting. You could use it for Milky Way time lapses when it's not the middle of the day. There's a lot of things you could do with this. Now I couldn't tell you off the top of my head what the weight limit is for using this. I will slap it on the screen right here, but it is all really dependent on each person's individual setup and how they're using it. Now right now I'm using the FX3 with a 50mm f1.2 G Master on a ball head with a base plate attached to this thing. That's a fairly heavy setup. It's going back and forth over 12 seconds. Now if you use faster back and forth movements that it loops on, you might find you get a little bit of jitter with heavier setups. There's no easy way to say this setup will give you jitter, this setup won't over this period of time. It's purely a case of just figuring it out for yourself. But this is a heavy setup, and for something like this, it works great. Let's do something a little bit faster, back and forth. This setup, for example, right here is 3 seconds. Now you'll see as it gets towards the end of the shot, like just here, it has like a little bit of jitter, and that's going to be because it has to slow itself down. If I go even faster than this, it's going to be even more obvious. So that's just something to be aware of. Now you're probably going to want to use a heavier duty tripod when you're using this, not because this is heavy, because it's really not, like one hand holding it no problem whatsoever, but more so for when you're using it for the bi-directional part of it. So when it's, and there is a lock on there as well, I've got it locked right now so it can't move, unlock it. So when it's going over like a weak point there, like one leg. So if you had a weak ball head on your tripod, or your tripod wasn't very good there, then you might get a little movement at the end there. It might like dip down a little bit or something like that. You can see with this one, there really isn't any issues like that. The only issue you might have is if you get to the end there, you're a little bit rough, you see it does move. Rightly so, because there's nothing really supporting there. So a way I've been getting around that is on the center here, I've just attached my bag. Like all the shots that you've seen today, other than this one, I have my bag attached, so when it does reach the end there, there's literally no movement whatsoever. I mean, that's it really. I could go through and give you a bunch more examples of shots like this where I'm talking and it's going back and forth, but I think it's pretty obvious how it works, how to use it, and it's just a tool that you might potentially want to use now and then. You're not going to be using it all the time, but if you did, you turn it on, have a shot ready to go like this in a matter of seconds. It does everything it says on the tin. You guys probably won't get that reference. It's a very old English ad from years ago. Yeah, iFootage Shark Nano. I'll pop a link down below. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.
So if you've got wood to stain and you want it to dry quickly, use Ronseal Quick Dry and Wood Stain. It does exactly what it says on the tin.